Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we are doing 5 more new palettes that I recently purchased, and I am currently going to rank them 1 through 5. I have done this in the past. I had mentioned that if I have not done a specific review on a palette, but I still wanted to update you guys, I found a way to share with you guys swatches and a quick review on each of these palettes and ranking them from 5 to my number 1. Now these are not specifically picked in order to put them in specific numbers. It's just how I use the palette. I put it in my basket, and then once I collect 5 palettes that I have used, played around with, gathered my thoughts about it, I will put them in here, pull out the 5, and then consider and think, well, which one is my favorite out of this bunch and which one is my least favorite, so on and so forth. So I have 5 here, but first, before we get into the ranking, if you're new to my channel, welcome to the familia. My name is Alex. I am an eyeshadow enthusiast with a dash of Project Pan. If that is something that interests you, subscribe, join us. And now without further ado, let's get on with the ranking. All right, let's start with number 5. The 5th one out of this bunch would be the Nomad Cosmetics Antilles palette. Now this palette is a bright, colorful shade palette. Love the color story of this. I love that I can mix and match these. These are super beautiful. Absolutely am in love with this packaging. It is gorgeous. It really catches my attention. Brings a mirror. It is magnetic. This palette, I believe, is $30 on their website. It is permanent. The reason why this is number 5, it has nothing to do with the color story. It has nothing to do with the brand itself. It has to do with the fact that this palette specifically does not have any mattes. And I know that I am not one to judge a palette for not having any mattes, but the thing is, the satins in here are satiny. They really are satiny. So I was using this and playing around with it, and I noticed that it never really, the shadows that I thought were matte never really looked matte on my eyes. And when it comes to colorful eyeshadows, sometimes you do need to have a true matte shadow because you're grabbing more attention to your eyes when you're putting bright shades. And if something is not matte, you can tell that you're having all this shimmer and satiny going on in your eyes, and it's already competing with the colors of the shadows. And I personally don't like that. I at least like to have one matte shade. I don't care what color it is, as long as it goes with the color story I'm doing it. But this palette has no matte, and I thought I was going crazy, and I really looked close at all of them, and I genuinely looked, and I'm like, okay, there is no mattes in here. So I went on their website, and sure enough, the description of this palette, which I should have read, states that there are no mattes. They have satins, they have metallics in here, they have ones that are more of a shimmery kind, like these right here. So the color stories are beautiful. The formula is amazing. Soft, pigmented, blends like a dream. I just don't like the fact that there's no matte. So anytime I use this palette, I do have to pull something else out. And I learned that the hard way, using this a few times, realizing that I was going crazy, and then come to find out I wasn't, that there are no mattes in here. So this is my number 5 solely because of that reason. And I want you guys to know, just in case you were interested in this palette, there are no mattes in here. So just bear that in mind. Palette number 4 goes to the BH Cosmetics Royal Affair palette. This palette, if it was a little bit more colorful, I think I would have brought it up higher into my list, but I still like it anyway. This is a cool tone palette with pops of color and somewhat of neutral or warmer shades in here, thrown in here. And I think that's why I like this palette so much. The formula is just like my BH Weekend Festival one. And then the second one, I still can't remember the name, one that was grungy with the lime green packaging to it. The formula is amazing on this. I really do like their formula when it comes to these palettes. The colors are so beautiful. I do like this. I can have those pops of color in here, but it's still a cool tone palette. It's very hard to find a cool tone palette with this much variety where you're not pulling in singles or multiple palettes, because cool tone palettes are not the thing. It just seems like it's starting to now, but it wasn't. And this is so unique to my collection. I really, really do like it. This is number 4 for a lot of good reasons. You guys know I like this formula. It's just beautiful. I do like it. If it wasn't for it not having more colorful cool tones, I think it would have went up higher in my collection, but I still use it. I still rock it. I still love it. I still will continue to use it. So thank you, Drea, for gifting this to me, because I would have never enjoyed it. Just looking at it, I think I would have never purchased it on my own, but I'm glad she did for me, because that's something that I would have never done for myself. Palette number 3 goes to Hip Dot SpongeBob palette. This is number 3 solely because of one specific reason. Now, first let's start out with the good. Obviously, you guys know I love Hip Dot. This is one of my top brands. I absolutely love everything that they do. Every palette that they have, I basically own. The formula is amazing, you guys. It's really, really good. I love this brand overall. This palette caught my attention. The packaging is beautiful. It is so beautiful, and I love the color story of this one. Now, the only reason why this is number 3 and it hasn't bumped up to either number 2 or number 1 is because this specific palette, in order for me to get a deepening shade, it would have to go all over my lid because all the deep shades in here are shimmery or metallic-y shades. There's the closest matte that I have here that will darken anything is this red one. This is a red matte, and that's basically it. Everything else is a shimmer. That's my issue with this palette, is if I want to have a dark outer V, it would have to be this one right here, and this is a metallic shade. You can really see it. Like, I could get away with it lightly, but I don't want to. I wanted a matte. I want more mattes in here to help out with this palette, and I feel like there's not enough mattes in here to balance out the shimmers to go with it. So I always found myself having to do a specific look with this palette in order to get what I wanted out of it. I either had to stick with its color story, or I have to put it all over my lid and just blend it out instead of deepening out the outer V or doing a halo look, unless I was using this one right here. So that's the only reason why this palette wasn't higher up. But other than that, I like the color story. It's super beautiful. This color is gorgeous. I love these right here, the blues. This color is amazing, you guys. Amazing. Like, there's nothing wrong with the quality of this. Absolutely nothing wrong. But I just wanted to mention that this is the darkest shade you're going to get here that is matte. And sometimes I don't want it to be pink or red. I want other colors. So that's the only reason why this is number 3. But other than that, it's beautiful. Absolutely love it. And I love the formula. Number 2 goes to its sister, Miss Ellie. This is the Hip Dot Ellie palette. This palette, you guys, beautiful. Yes, I know it looks like a neutral shade palette, but oh my gosh, I had so much fun with this palette. You get these glittery shades, which I didn't use as often, but I did like the fact that I have these to go along with these neutral shades. Now, this palette leans more neutral, cooler, rosy type of palette. This isn't warm by any means. You're getting like this one that's warm, but other than that, you're getting more of a cooler tone vibe, which I appreciate because, again, we don't get that many cool tone palettes. The fun part about this palette is this shade right here. This one, you can use it all over your lid if you want to. You can definitely use this as an inner corner or even a face highlighter, but I loved pairing this one with any of these metallics up here and shifting the shades. So as you guys can see, this is a little bit more warm. If I were to blend this on top of this and blend it together, it would give you more of a cooler, I don't know what it is. It's like a pressed glitter. Look at that metalliciness. Has a little bit of a hint of pink in there, but this one, blend it out. Let me try it with this one. So I'm going to put this one all on my finger, and then I'm going to place this on top. You'll blend it together. You're going to see the difference. Here is how it would normally look as the undertone, and then me blending that on top changes the shadow. So I had so much fun with this palette, just changing the shadows, changing the undertones, making things cooler that were warmer, changing a little bit of the color of it. It was so much fun, and that's why this one's number 2, and the quality is amazing. Quality of this was amazing. Anytime I needed to pair a neutral or a transition shade and I didn't want a color, this was the palette I was reaching for constantly. I wore this in the heat. I wore this in the sun. If I wanted a quick look, this is the one that I was reaching for. I really do like this one. If you're a neutral fan, if you don't like much color, but you want it there just in case, and maybe you like glitter, this might be the palette for you. This is so beautiful. I really do like it. Now, would I preferred less glitter pigments in here and more color? Yes, but it's still pretty. I still like it, and I think that this is great that they did this because it's very different from everything else that they have come out with in their line. Okay, you guys, so now let's go on to my number 1. If you guys saw the thumbnail, you guys would not be surprised that this is the Colored Rain Safari palette. I purchased this palette but held off on using it until the summertime, and then definitely now, and oh my gosh, you guys, Colored Rain, just, oh my goodness, I've loved them for years, and this palette I think is by far my favorite. I think it even took the position of the Queen palette. I think it's called the Crown Queen. I forget what it's called, but this one, definitely my number one. Definitely my number one in the whole brand itself. It is just so beautiful. It's super rich and bold and in your face, but it's such a beautiful quality palette. I can go ham with this one and go all in, but I can also pull it back and still get a soft look with it and not have to feel like I have to change my technique of using my brushes. If I just gently go into these shadows, I can get a soft wash look, but I'm still getting the color. It's not like it's a faded look. It's more like a softened look of it. But then I can go in and pack it in and get that vibrancy, and it is vibrant and in your face, and it is amazing. Quality is to die for. I absolutely love this palette. Out of all the 5 in general that I'm sharing with you guys today, there is no question that this is my number one. I absolutely love it. It is definitely up there. If you're gonna pick one and you like warm tones and you want that fall vibe, this is the one I would choose. I would choose this one over the Power palette. I would choose this one over the Queen one, the Cheers palette. They have different ones. I think this is definitely my favorite, the best one they have come out with. I just think it's gorgeous. All right, you guys, so those are my top 5 for this round. These are my quick reviews, everything that I know about these palettes, and I've used and abused them. I will link them down in the description box. If you guys are interested, when I get a few of these in, maybe I'll grab all of my top number ones of all of the series and then rank them from there, because that would be hard. That would be seriously hard. But if you're interested in that, let me know down in the comment section. So thank you guys so much for watching. I will add more videos right over here if you're interested to continue your journey with me. Until then, bye guys.